This dish has been a weekend wonder in Japanese homes for generations. Sizzling pork hits the hot pan, filling your kitchen with that irresistible savory aroma. That's the style of my 25-minute Mabo Dofu. For a printable version of this recipe, visit my website. Just Google Mabo Dofu statue to find me. First things first, let's brown the ground pork. I'm grabbing a wok and heating it over medium heat. Once it's nice and hot, add a bit of cooking oil and 100 grams of ground pork with just a pinch of salt and pepper. Now I'm breaking up the meat with my wooden spatula as it cooks. We want to keep going until the meat releases its fat and get those beautiful brown bits. Ground pork is definitely the most common meat, but that doesn't mean you can't switch things up. You can use ground beef and pork mix, beef or chicken for a lighter version, but since they have less fat and milder flavour, I'd recommend adding a bit more oil or oyster sauce to boost the richness. And for a vegetarian option, soy mince works great too. Just cook with a little more oil and increase the miso to create a richer flavour. Next, I'm adding half a finely diced onion. I'll fry them until they're slightly softened and translucent, which takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Now for our first layer of seasoning, I'm adding half teaspoon of sake, half teaspoon of soy sauce, and half tablespoon of miso paste to this mixture and mixing it all thoroughly. Speaking of miso, I'm using yellow awase miso paste here, but if you have red and white, you can actually make yellow by mixing them half and half. Alternatively, you can go for a red miso too for a deeper, more intense flavour. Now that it's all seasoned, I'm pushing the seasoned meat to one side of the pan and adding 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, half tablespoon of chili bean paste, and teaspoon of grated garlic to the empty space. You could throw in a teaspoon of freshly grated ginger here too if you want. I'm mixing these seasonings together and frying for about 30 seconds until they're fragrant. Then I'm stirring everything into the meat until it's evenly distributed. If you want a milder version, you can adjust the heat level by reducing the amount of chili bean paste. For a very mild version, just use half to 1 teaspoon. And don't worry about the stuff stuck to the pan bottom. If you're using cast iron like me, you might see a slightly caramelized layer forming. That's actually a good thing. It's creating rich umami flavors and aromatic compounds. Now I'm adding 200 milliliters of chicken bouillon and then gently placing in 300 grams of diced firm tofu cubes, about 2 to 3 centimeters pieces or about 3/4 to 1 inch cubes. Bring the mixture to a boil and once it starts to bubble, reduce the heat to a simmer. A lot of people ask what type of tofu to use. You can make this dish with either silken or firm tofu, but they give you different textures. Firm tofus hold its shape better and is easier for beginners to work with. Silken tofu gives you this luxurious creamy texture but breaks apart more easily. I personally recommend firm tofu or the firmer side of silken tofu. For the chicken stock, since this is a Chinese-inspired dish, I recommend using an Asian-style chicken bouillon, but honestly, use whatever works best for you. Now I'm seasoning the broth with 1 tablespoon of sake, half teaspoon of soy sauce, half tablespoon of oyster sauce, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. If you don't have sake, you can substitute dry sherry or dry white wine. I'm letting this simmer uncovered for about 8 to 10 minutes or until the liquid is reduced by about half. This isn't a quick stir fry, that patience really pays off in flavour development. Mabo Dofu is the beloved Japanese adaptation of Sichuan China's famous Mapo Tofu dish. It's as fundamental to Japanese family meals as spaghetti bolognese is to British households, a reliable beloved staple that appears frequently on dinner tables. Okay, once it has reduced, I'm gonna take a small bowl and mix 2 tablespoons of cold water and 2 teaspoons of cornstarch to make a slurry. I'm stirring it until it's completely smooth. Now I'm pouring the slurry into the pan and mixing gently. This slurry is going to thicken the sauce and create the iconic glossy coating that sticks beautifully to the tofu. At this point, I always taste the sauce and adjust the seasoning if needed. You might want to add a drizzle of chili oil for extra heat, a touch more soy sauce for saltiness, or even a tiny pinch of sugar to balance the flavors. For some finishing touches, add some chili oil depending on how hot you want it to be. And there you have it. I'm dishing up and sprinkling with chopped green onion and some chili threads for color contrast. The most common way to enjoy Mabo Dofu is over steaming hot rice, which provides the perfect neutral canvas for this flavor bomb of a sauce. Want even more delicious recipes? Grab my free cookbook from the link in the description. Okay, let's go over the ingredients one more time. And if you're ready to cook, grab the written instructions by clicking the full recipe box with a picture that's about to pop up on your screen. Here we go, the link to the full recipe is on the screen for you now, and if you want to watch more similar videos, don't miss my pork recipe playlist popping up on your screen as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.